All right, y'all, we're out in the fur shed today. I just looked back and watched my old fur shed tour video, and boy, oh boy, how things have changed. So I thought I'm gonna make a video today to kind of show you guys how I've gotten more efficient and what has changed, because my shed is just so much different now compared to back then. And I've received some comments too about, they like the setup and whatnot, but as I got bigger, I got so much more efficient with what I do, and I'm sure I'm still going to keep improving too. So I thought I'd show you guys my kind of setup here in a small little area. I mean, my shed is less than 20 by 20, guys. It is not a big area at all. So I figured I'd just give you guys a look around and fill you guys in. Maybe if you guys can get one thing from this or whatever that helps you get more efficient, then it's all worth it for me. So anyways, we'll get right into it. We're going to start over at the skinning table here. So this is my new table. This is a different table than what you guys saw in the last video, or the last fur shed video anyways. I got this table. We were working on a building and the table was in there and I wanted it. So here it is. That's how I get it for free. It keeps the cost down, you don't really need a specific table by any means. But I just picked that one up and it works great. And got my knife sitting over here. This is the knife I use to skin all my raccoons with. That's my beaver knife. Got some tape measures sitting there. I've been sizing up boards, but as I mentioned in my last fur shed tour, that tool right there is a lifesaver. I love using that work sharp knife sharpener. A lot of guys use the replaceable blades. I personally like to use that. That's what works best for me. So I'll set my coon up here with their heads facing the wall, and I'll ring both their back legs. Not ring them, but cut around the back legs and keep the back tendon intact. And then they go on to my new skinning system, which if you guys can see, I use a gambrel now. Before I just used the dog chains that are over there, but now I use this gambrel right here. You hook the coon's heels on there. I use that, and I upgraded from the whole lasso deal, and now I got an A&J skinning machine. And boy, last year was my first year using it, and I will never, probably ever use anything else. I absolutely love that. But once I get the critter skinned, if they need washed, which I've kind of gotten away from, I take them in the sink. The sink's a lot dirtier than it used to be, but it's what happens when you're trapping and you beat the heck out of everything. So, and just another thing too, guys, I got this skinning machine set up. So once I get that coon down to its front legs, I can sit down in that chair and wheel around, and I can just sit there and finish the coon. And then from there, everything goes in the freezer and whatnot. If I wash it, I take it over here, and I've also changed this a lot too. If you guys can tell, it's a lot higher now. I hang my critters by their nose now on these screws, and I can hang, I don't even remember what it is, like 60 or 70 coon on that thing if I need to wash that many. I can hang them up there. I can also hang them there to thaw if I want to too, and they'll thaw out faster because the gravity will bring them down. But skinning table, winch, got my sink, got my drying thing, and then I got all my traps sitting here. Those are never here during season. They're always usually out in the field. But then I got my new fleshing set up. And guys, I got to give Iowa Trapper all the credit for this one. I kind of just went off of what I saw in his videos, and I absolutely love it. This flatter beam is just awesome. It's saved my back a lot this year compared to that steeper beam that I used to have. And I built this box pretty big. I don't even know the exact dimensions on it, but I can hold 70 to 80 coon worth of fat in that tub at one time. So I have it to where I can flesh for 2 days before I have to empty that. And then I got my knife hanging here. Once I'm done fleshing them, I turn them first side out. I set them all in a pile until I'm done fleshing for the day, and then I board them. When I go to board them, excuse me, when I go to board them, I bring them over to this table right here. Same table that I used to have, but now I don't use the styrofoam anymore. It's really slick if you're not doing that many. Like I think when I was doing 200 some coon a year, it was great. It worked great, but now I got so many pins, it'd take a huge thing of styrofoam to hold them all, and it's just more efficient for me to put them in there, even though I'll take a couple jabs in the thumb. But I got mineral spirits. I use that to wipe down my furs to make them look a lot better. It takes the grease off of the hide. I also got that idea from Iowa Trapper. It works great. Got all my belly boards sitting here. I got 180-ish stretchers sitting right here. I've been working on sizing them. You guys can see I got quite a few new ones here, but I don't have the small one sized quite yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And then one thing I added last year that I really love is this shopping cart. And I'll show you guys why in a second, because the way I got everything set up, the shopping cart makes it so much more efficient to haul fur from my freezers into my shed. But I'll show you how that works in a second. And then I got a couple hangers up there, my beaver boards, and I spent a lot of time on this table right here in the summer, guys. I got a table crimper here. That's what I make all my pogos with. A couple cable cutters, my ferrules in a thing there. I need to buy more of those, probably a convention. Yeah, this is where I make all my pogos. And how I make the pogos, guys, is instead of taking a tape measure and measuring out every single individual one, if you guys can see this, I made a notch on my bench right there. So I know when I get that cable flush with the end of this table here, I just pull it out to that mark, cut it, and then I'm done. That I can keep pulling it out and keep repeating and repeating, and it just works really slick. But anyways, after the furs dry and whatever, I hang all my stretchers up there. And then when they're dry, I put them on the hangers. But before I put them on the hangers, when I take them off the board, throw the pins in the thing, whatever, I got my table marked here to where if I put this coon's nose flush with the end of this table and I go out, here's a large coon right here is that notch. Then you got XL, 2X, 3X, and so on and so forth all along that table. So I can size that coon once it's dried and know what kind of hanger to put it on. Now I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to pick this up, but if you guys can see those hooks I got on the ceiling up there, I got 3 rows of them. And what I do with those is this closest row right here is 4X coon, 3X coon, and then 2X coon. That's how I keep them sorted so I know exactly what I have. And it works great. I also got that idea from Iowa Trapper, sorting them out by size, and it works great. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna take you guys out to where all my freezers are now and show you guys what I got to store all this fur in. All right, guys, so here's my freezer setup. I got, how many do I even have? 5? Yeah, I got 23 cubic foot, 23, 20. That one's huge. I don't know how big it is, but it's huge. And then 2 more 23s, but these will hold all my fur, guys. And then the little one is my skull freezer. If you guys didn't know that, I sell all my skulls. I still have some beaver skulls in there, I believe. But, yep, they're all of them, but this one is unplugged right now. That one's just got a couple of my little summer projects that I'm working on in there. But yeah, they're all unplugged, you know. Got to keep efficient. They're all empty and everything. And then also, I'll just show you guys quick. In my freezers, I started doing this a couple years ago, and it works really good. Well, this one's still on. Anyways, so I'll lay garbage bags in the bottom of this, and that prevents your fur, if there's a little bit of moisture in it or whatever, from freezing to the bottom. Just trust me, guys, you do not want to deal with a fur that is frozen to the bottom of a freezer. You will rip hair off unless you unplug that freezer. But yeah, it works great. So as you can see, you know, I pull my truck, I back it up in here, and I unload everything right here. I'll have my shopping cart out here. I'll load up the shopping cart with carcass coon or beaver, whatever I got. I'll load that up, I'll wheel it in the shed, which, if you follow me, is right over in here. That's how I bring my fur into my shed, is with that shopping cart. And the same thing when I'm going to flesh, you know, I can fit 25 coon in that shopping cart. Instead of taking, you know, 4 at a time, carrying them in there all the time, I can load 25 in the cart at once, wheel it in, take another load, wheel it in, and I got enough coon to flesh for the day. And that's how I roll with that. So, yeah, freezers, guys, I mean, they are not cheap to run by any means, but they're a lot cheaper than you guys think. If you're running them in the winter time, which is the only time that I'm really running all of them at once, your bill is not that much simply because it's already cold outside and you don't have to keep them cranking really hard. Whereas if I had them all on right now and it's, you know, 80 degrees in the shop right now or whatever it is, these freezers are gonna be burning hard and they're gonna really suck down electricity. So you kind of just gotta be efficient with that, guys. I got all my drowners still laying over here and stuff, my beaver traps. They're cleaned up for the most part. I went through all of them, make sure they all had tags and everything before I put them away, and they'll be ready to go for next spring. Got all my bait jars here for raccoon trapping. I got some cable drowners, and I got an absolute wreck going right there from when I ran a cable drowner line for coon last fall. But yeah, guys, it's just kind of how everything's changed. You know, everything's gotten a lot different since the last time I showed my shed. I figured I'd take the time to kind of run you guys through how I've been more efficient, because in a year I went from blowing my leg out from playing football and only catching, I think it was like 150 coon or something. You know, it's not bad by any means, but I definitely wanted to catch more, but I couldn't. And then in a year I went from like 150 some coon, and then in the fall of the next year, last fall, I caught 608 coon. And I had to adapt and get more efficient because the system I was running was not efficient enough to be able to put up that many raccoon. So that's how I've changed, guys. Hope this helps you guys in any way that it possibly can. I will say this is the cleanest this thing will look probably ever. You know, normally when season starts, I mean, it's just a bomb. There's stuff everywhere and it's a disaster, but I figured I'd get it cleaned up in here a little bit and show you guys kind of how I roll, you know, in case you want to get more efficient at something or pick up something from me that I picked up from someone else and applied. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's how it's changed, and I'll see you guys soon, hopefully. I'm thinking about making a full in-depth video on how I caught the beavers that I did last spring. I'm probably going to do... I got this new thing for my GoPro now, so now I can set it up on the bank instead of just having it on my chest. And I can probably give you guys a better view on exactly what I'm doing. And I'll probably do a caster set and a 330 dive set. I mean, that's all I did for the most part. If you guys followed that series, you know. But yeah, guys, anyways, thanks for watching and hope this helps you all out.